Okay, these are your density notes. I think they are on page 9 in your journal. Double check with the board to make sure. And don't forget to leave a space, about 3 lines, at the bottom of your paper so that you can write your summary at the end. Density is the amount of matter in a given space.
Ooh.
This just means how tightly atoms are packed together in an object. When we talk about density, we normally talk about if objects can float or sink, their buoyancy. If something sinks, that means that it is more dense or it has a higher density. And we'll draw some pictures in a minute to see what that looks like. If something floats, that means it is less dense or it has a low density. Once again, we're going to draw some pictures in just a second. Yes, you have to draw the pictures. Okay, we're going to use a cube, and we're going to say that this first cube has low density. We're going to use just some small dots to show the atoms in this cube, and the atoms are going to be spread far apart, or a medium-sized amount of space apart, sort of like liquids atoms. For our second cube, we are going to make sure that our atoms or our dots are closely packed together. Think of the atoms, or think of your cube like a suitcase. If that suitcase is empty, when you throw it into the ocean, it most likely will float. If your suitcase is packed full of your stuff, it's going to sink. So the tighter the atoms are packed, the more dense. So the two cubes that we've drawn are roughly the same size. What happens when we have an object that is more dense, but it's smaller than the object that is less dense? First, draw a cube that is roughly the same size as the ones that we've been drawing. This first cube is going to have a low density, so make sure you draw the atoms further apart. Our second cube is going to be smaller, much smaller than the first three, and it is going to be our high density cube still. Our smaller cube is our high density cube. Just because it's a smaller cube does not change the amount of mass that it has the amount of mass that it has inside the cube. It has a different volume, it holds less, it takes up less space, but it has the same mass as the larger cube. Okay guys, when you're done, make sure that you have your summary space. And the question I want you to answer is, what is the difference between high density and low density? When you have that done, your code word is Taco Tuesday. Make sure you show me your summary and move on to your next assignment.